The first week of 2025 brought a terrifying sight to the Los Angeles landscape. Wildfires erupted, fueled by fierce winds and dry conditions. The idyllic hillsides and canyons, usually bathed in sunshine, were transformed into a scene of chaos and fear. The fires, dubbed the Eaton Fire and the Palisades Fire, ignited on January 7th. They quickly became symbols of a new reality, the ever-growing threat of wildfires in a changing climate. The Eaton Fire ignited near the Angeles National Forest, close to the community of Altadena. This area, nestled in the foothills, is known for its charming homes and breathtaking views. But within hours, those views were obscured by thick smoke as flames raced through the dry brush. The Palisades Fire began almost simultaneously, further west in the Pacific Palisades region. This affluent community, overlooking the Pacific Ocean, is home to celebrities and families alike. However, the fire did not discriminate, threatening homes and lives with equal ferocity. The speed at which the fire spread was alarming. Driven by the powerful Santa Ana winds, the flames devoured acres of land with terrifying speed. The familiar scent of eucalyptus and pine was replaced by the acrid smell of smoke, a constant reminder of the ongoing disaster. Residents had little time to react as evacuation orders were issued, forcing them to flee their homes with whatever belongings they could gather. The fires, visible for miles, cast an eerie orange glow across the night sky, a constant reminder of the destruction unfolding. The Eaton Fire, fueled by thick dry chaparral and fanned by relentless winds, quickly grew into a monster. It roared through the Angeles National Forest, consuming everything in its path. The fire jumped highways and fire breaks, defying containment efforts. Firefighters battled tirelessly, but the fire's unpredictable nature and the sheer force of the wind made it a formidable opponent. To the west, the Palisades Fire presented its own set of challenges. The terrain, a mix of steep canyons and dense residential areas, made access difficult for firefighters. Homes perched on hillsides, surrounded by dry vegetation, became vulnerable targets. The fire burned through neighborhoods, leaving behind a patchwork of charred rubble and untouched homes, a stark testament to its capricious nature. By January 20th, the Eaton Fire had scorched over 14,000 acres. Containment reached 87%, a testament to the tireless efforts of firefighters. The Palisades Fire, however, proved even more difficult to control. It had consumed over 23,700 acres, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. Containment stood at 59%, a grim reminder that the battle was far from over. As the smoke began to clear, the true extent of the devastation became horrifyingly evident. The fires had left an indelible mark on the landscape and the lives of countless Angelenos. The once vibrant communities were now scarred landscapes of ash and debris. The human cost was immeasurable, with at least 27 confirmed deaths. Each life lost represented a family shattered, a future extinguished. The physical damage was staggering. Over 14,362 structures were destroyed, including homes, businesses, and community centers. Families who had fled with only a moment's notice were left with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Businesses, some passed down through generations, were reduced to rubble. The economic impact on the region was expected to be significant, with businesses closed, tourism disrupted, and the cost of rebuilding estimated in the billions. The emotional toll on survivors was profound. The loss of loved ones, homes, and cherished possessions left many in a state of shock and despair. The fires had not only destroyed physical structures but had also ripped through the fabric of these communities, leaving behind a sense of loss and uncertainty. The devastating speed and intensity of the Los Angeles fires were exacerbated by a perfect storm of weather conditions. The Santa Ana winds, a meteorological phenomenon infamous in Southern California, played a crucial role. These dry, downsloping winds, originating in the Great Basin, whipped through the canyons and valleys, fanning the flames into infernos. The Santa Ana winds were particularly fierce during the first week of January. Gusts reached up to 100 miles per hour, creating what firefighters call extreme fire behavior. The winds carried embers for miles, sparking new spot fires far ahead of the main fire front. This made containment a nightmare, as firefighters battled not one but multiple fires, constantly shifting resources and adapting to the unpredictable nature of the wind-driven flames. Adding to the already dangerous situation was the extremely low humidity. The air, parched by the Santa Ana winds, sucked moisture from vegetation, turning it into dry tinder, ready to ignite at a moment's notice. This combination of high winds, low humidity, and dry fuels created the perfect conditions for the rapid fire growth and spread that devastated Los Angeles. Section 5. A state responds, mobilizing against the inferno. As the Los Angeles fires raged, a massive response effort swung into action. Recognizing the severity of the situation, Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency on January 7th, mobilizing all available resources to combat the inferno and provide aid to those affected. Over 16,000 personnel were deployed to the fire lines, including firefighters from across California and neighboring states, National Guard units, and first responders. The air was thick with the roar of helicopters and airplanes as they made water and retardant drops, trying to slow the fire's advance. On the ground, firefighters worked tirelessly, risking their lives to protect homes and evacuate residents. The federal government also stepped in to assist. President Biden approved Governor Newsom's request for a federal disaster declaration, releasing crucial federal aid and resources. 3 Fire Management Assistance Grants, or FMAGs, were secured, providing financial assistance for firefighting efforts. Governor Newsom also issued a series of executive orders aimed at expediting debris removal, providing rebuilding assistance, protecting tenants from eviction, preventing price gouging, and supporting students affected by the fires. In the face of unimaginable loss and devastation, the spirit of the Los Angeles community shone through. Neighbors helped neighbors, strangers became volunteers, and acts of kindness, large and small, brought a glimmer of hope to a darkened city. Organizations like World Central Kitchen, known for their rapid response to disasters, set up shop near evacuation centers and fire lines, providing hot meals to first responders and displaced residents. Community centers transformed into donation hubs, overflowing with clothes, toiletries, pet food, and other essential items. Volunteers worked tirelessly, sorting donations, preparing meals, and offering comfort to those who had lost everything. Fundraising efforts gained momentum as people from all walks of life came together to support their fellow Angelenos. The Peterson Automotive Museum announced a special cruise-in event, with all proceeds going to fire relief. The annual Robert Burns celebration, a beloved Los Angeles tradition, dedicated its event to raising funds for fire victims. From bake sales to online auctions, the community rallied, proving that even in the face of tragedy, the human spirit of compassion and resilience could not be extinguished. Amidst the statistics and the overwhelming scale of the disaster, it was the individual stories that emerged from the fire lines that truly captured the human toll of the Los Angeles fires. There was Rocky the tortoise, pulled from the ashes by firefighters, a symbol of hope and survival. His story went viral, reminding people that even in the darkest of times, life finds a way. Then there was Steve, the owner of Steve's Bike Shop, a local institution for decades. As the fire approached his business, Steve chose to help his neighbors evacuate, saving their homes while his own shop burned to the ground. His selfless act of heroism touched the hearts of many, demonstrating the true meaning of community. But there were also stories of profound loss. Tautris Beasley, a single mother, had just made the final payment on her mortgage after years of struggle. Days later, her home, a symbol of her hard work and sacrifice, was reduced to ashes. Her story, one of countless others, highlighted the devastating and often random nature of natural disasters. As the immediate threat of the Los Angeles fires subsided, the long and arduous process of recovery and rebuilding began. The physical scars on the land were a constant reminder of the devastation, but it was the invisible scars, the emotional trauma and the loss of life that would take the longest to heal. The road to recovery promised to be long and challenging. Debris removal, environmental remediation, and rebuilding efforts were expected to take years and cost billions of dollars. The emotional and mental health needs of survivors, many suffering from PTSD and anxiety, became a top priority for mental health professionals and community organizations. The fires also forced a reckoning with the realities of climate change and its impact on wildfire behavior. The combination of prolonged drought, hotter temperatures, and drier vegetation had created a tinderbox across the state, making large-scale, destructive wildfires more frequent and intense. The Los Angeles fires served as a stark warning that climate change was not a distant threat but a present danger. requiring urgent action and a collective commitment to mitigating its effects. The devastating Los Angeles fires of January 2025 served as a stark reminder of the importance of fire safety and preparedness, especially in regions prone to wildfires. As the community began the long process of rebuilding, there was a renewed emphasis on educating residents about how to protect themselves and their properties from future fires. Authorities urged residents to create and maintain defensible spaces around their homes by clearing brush and vegetation within 100 feet of structures. Home hardening, which involves using fire-resistant materials and construction techniques, was also promoted as a way to make homes more resilient to wildfires. Evacuation preparedness became critical. Residents were encouraged to develop family evacuation plans, prepare go-bags with essential documents and supplies, and sign up for local alert systems to receive timely evacuation notices. The Los Angeles fires underscored the need for constant vigilance, especially during periods of high fire danger. By taking proactive steps, residents could help protect themselves, their families, and their communities from the ever-present threat of wildfires.